Well. I am live. I have not did a live on this channel ever. I don't know if I'm going to get some views or if people going to view it later. Um, really doesn't matter. I'm going to tell my story, and let's start with the program. So this is a program of becoming better, right? Um, that's what my studies and observations have led me to see and believe. Um, you got certain people that are pushing the button, that are hell bent on um, taking things one way and pushing a button. And I guess for the elect that were chosen for this, the program is pushing, you above any obstacle that you could possibly face in life, which I believe I've passed every test with flying colors, you know. But let's get on to things that happen in the program. You have robotic individuals, and I observe them daily, and they are just moving at a wheel of something with an algorithm behind them. The chosen are the ones that move at their own will and make their own decisions and do the best that they can under the circumstances given. Now, whether that's you or uh, you're on the other hand and you're just a bot, then I expect you to do bot things. It doesn't take long for me to figure out who's a bot and who's not. But I must say this, that Christ did it all. You know, uh, he died that we may live, and that's all that matters. Everything else is null and void. The tactics the enemy use in this program is null and void. In fact, uh, I'm through with all of it. You know what I mean? As far as paying it any attention. Now, will the warfare stop? No, that doesn't stop the warfare or anything like that. But it does let the enemy know that I don't care about all eyes being on me. I don't care how many people are sitting here looking for me to be the perfect individual. Whether you're perfect or not, these bots are still going to do bot things. And as I said in my last video, I've seen some pretty wicked things, and I don't mean just some wicked things. I mean some very, very wicked things that these people are doing. So let me look. I have 0 views. No one is in here yet, and still I have. If I was to turn my camera on, I have maybe uh, you know 20, 25 people watching me right now at minimum. You know, um, so that's null and void within itself. It's just like if I didn't matter, let me be. Let me, live my life, work my little job, do what I'm gonna do, and go on about my business. No, 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 no. They're not gonna allow us to do that. Elect. They're not gonna allow us. They're going to have family mock you, coworkers mock you, uh, people at the store mock you, and they're given half truths and half stories. Now, the prophet Daniel, he spoke about these times, and he said this, that, well, it was explained to him like this by the angel Gabriel, that there would be uh, one king that would arise and would allow deceit to prosper. He would allow craft to prosper, meaning he would put things together and fool the eyes of those that are asleep to look at things one way and present it one way. Now, for the elect that has been woken up, to everlasting life and victory, it doesn't mean you're free from sin, because if you keep reading, uh, while Gabriel is giving Daniel the vision, it says that the holy people, those that are chosen and elect, will be trampled on and will be oppressed for many days. So that's the time that we are in as holy people. Um, they present themselves one way, and then you look at things through the eyes of being woke, and you see that if I was asleep, I would believe the picture that's being painted. But since I'm woke, I see the facts of everything that's given. Now, I will say this: whoever has made their rights to passage and is gang stalking and have decided to, play their role and character, and you all know what I'm talking about, that's playing your role and character. Hey, I ain't got nothing against you. My day is coming. I will get my role and my character here pretty shortly. You know what I mean? So that's not a factor here. But as an elect, you see it all, right? You understand and you see it all. So it's like, you're not fooling me, and any real targeted individual, you're not fooling them. Now, the threats that are given, the sorcery speaking that happens, that doesn't matter. You know, um, I've seen some strange things happen. I say that, some very strange things. I was actually took a little exercise stroll the other night, and I was walking. I walked maybe, I think I walked like 4 miles. Well, maybe like 5 miles total, because I went up on the 2 mile, went back a half a mile, went up 2 miles, came back 2 miles, went back a half a mile, came back a half a mile. So like 4.5, 5 miles, something like that. Didn't keep up with it. But during the time of doing that, I had a guy pop right out of the middle of nowhere. I mean, I'm walking in the middle of the sticks of the woods. No one lives around here, and there's nowhere for you to be coming from, out here, because it's the woods. This guy pops right out of the middle of nowhere with the backpack, like, hey. I'm like, some pretty cool stuff, man. This it didn't bother me not one bit, but just was, it's just like, what's the next trick? I've seen uh, license plates from every state that you could possibly imagine. Um, and I understand rental cars. These are not rental cars. These are cars that are chewed up and damaged, because that's what they give the gang stalkers. I remember, um, when they were trying to initiate me at the beginning of the process, I didn't understand, what was fully going on. As I was starting to fully awake and things started to go from overt to covert, I remember, I remember my car getting damaged um, by my spouse, and I didn't realize what was going. I'm like, man, this is insane. This is this is crazy. Why would you damage a vehicle that we have to drive? And then I started seeing the gang stalkers' vehicles being damaged, and I'm like, oh, if you're going to be a clown on the gang stalker side, then you're going to have an Adolf damaged vehicle. That's just pretty much. And then the ones you see um, without a damaged vehicle, which is very few, those are handlers. They're handling and they have control over the majority, or their majority, right? Um, the Book of Enoch, and I know I may be jumping here and there. The Book of Enoch, though, explains end times because the Book of Enoch was written in two folds. Now they took some inserts from parables, which explain the first world flood and stuck in there, and that may confuse some people. But um, the beginning of Enoch starts off with where he's blessing the elect who will be living in the day of tribulation in the end times. Like that's how it starts off, and that's the narrative for that book. And I know some people don't like that book, and they're like, but only the truth would be removed, right? If somebody's trying to hide something, like they're not going to just give you full truth in anything because the majority of this 3D paradox that we live in is deception. So in the book of Enoch, somewhere around, I want to say like chapter 56, 57, somewhere like that, he says the kings of the earth will be stirred up to come uh, forth to their flocks and will come out with basically a great vengeance, and will present themselves as lions, from the lairs of their flock, or to their flock, so that's what you have. You have people that are just, uh, you know, like they're on a one-way mission. It doesn't even matter. Truth doesn't get equated in or anything. They're on a one-way mission, and their bots from the handlers are on a one-way mission. The mind control of whatever the actual um, mindset of their leader is, um, so they know that the keys are getting ready to switch up. Like they got to give up the keys now. Whatever idiot thought to initiate me into this, and felt like, oh well, we will initiate you on here and try and trade places. I didn't agree to trade places with anybody. you know, um, I don't. I'm not. I never agreed to take someone's torment or handle their torment, although they have tried to give it to me. And that's, the tribulation of the elect, right? You know, in these days and times that we're living in, um, it's just, some strange times, strange things going on in the world. And I will say this that, you know, the more you try to stay out the way and do good and dip off, you have people that will come up and try you 24/7. I see it doesn't matter if it's on the job or just out, freely, doing your everyday life and living. I see people all the time that have an opposition at hand, and you're like, you're here for what reason, what purpose, other than to look, look after me as a babysitter. you know, whatever the case may be. It's not easy on some days with, just not going off, especially when people, try to push you to the point of going off. You're like, oh man, I see the agenda. Like, do you want me to spell it out that I see the agenda that you're presenting? You want me to just spell this out to you? Or do you want me to pretend to be asleep? Now, I try to pretend to be asleep. Like, I try that. And they say a wise man will keep quiet. You know, I try that role, but it's something within me. Like after so long, like I can do that for a while, and then it's just like it's like uh, fire shut up in me. I have to just speak out and be like, "Hey, I know you're a demon, right?" I don't just come out and say you're a demon, but I like, "Hey, I see you and I see your agenda, right? I see you're playing the opposite side of the fence, and it's not easy to be quiet. I say that it's not easy because it's like, oh man, I see the opposition, I see you coming against me, um, and then I'm supposed to be quiet, you know, keep silent. I keep silent for a minute, and then I have to say something. So I haven't came on and did a live stream ever since I've started this channel or any other channel that well, I take that back. Back in 2021, I did do a couple live streams on the first channel I had before they deleted all of that, with the push of a button. But nevertheless, since I've had uh, this channel and then another channel that I have called Choosing One, um, which I haven't been on that channel forever. I have not did any live stream. I would just post up, a video. But I'm at the point now of just I'm like, whatever. I go live whenever. I say whatever comes to my mind. If it sounds like a rant that makes no sense, who cares? If you are chosen and elect and you listen to this video, you'll get it. If not, if you're about to sleep, it won't make any sense to you. It just won't, just what it is. I mean, they make it to where things are not as easy as it could be. You're out trying to do the right thing, trying to live life. I will say this: I'm making, you know 40 hours a week barely. This week I end up getting a few hours over, and it seemed like I'm like it's easy to live out of that if the opposition wasn't that, hey, I'm paying out just as much as I'm bringing in or more, than what I'm actually bringing in. With having to eat and things like that, it's like, oh, push the button to get this result or to get that result, and it's like, how many more buttons are you guys going to push? How much more narcissistic can you be to understand a person is just trying to live their life, be off in the cut, and do their, serve the Lord with gladness, you know, be humble, and at the same time ascend up out of this 3D going into 5D paradigm that we're in, this in between state of the system crashing. They're like, and I'm just gonna say it, they're like, no, we have to keep the illusion going, and the elect ones are breaking the illusion. Now you have to be reprogrammed. Reprogram yourself to believe the illusion, and it makes it hard when you know I guess I can fall asleep here and there, but I really can't because as soon as when I fall asleep, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That was an illusion. That's not real, you know. So again, this is a just because rant. And a rant means to go anywhere possible just to talk. If I would have had some, if I would have had some real people that are actually watching me to hop in and to be interactive, then they could have jumped in on any of the rant topics that I went through, and I could have went in depth. But because I just have people that want to watch and listen and then go back and review and point fingers, this is what you get. You get a just because rant that for you bots, it will make no sense, but for the elect, they'll get it. And I think I have went on. Um, I'm at 21 minutes. I'm gonna go to 22 minutes and then end this thing. But I want to say this, elect. Keep fighting. Keep your head up. Don't fear the threats. With whatever they talk about, I fear no threat. There's no quit in me. 0% quit is in me. But um, at the same time, I will not be ran over. You know, by the opposing party. That I will not. I will not be ran over by the opposing party. So um, now we know that um, they're not going to make it easy for us. But I will tell you all this. Um, they have to abide by the rules. Which, if it's the law of the land, they can't break those rules. They can try, but it comes back on them. And especially when you're kingdom living, which the universe has its laws for that. Whatever bots break those rules to try and do whatever, it comes back on them. That's just how it goes. So I am at 22 minutes and something seconds. I appreciate you all for listening at a later time and date, but it is just because Brandon, I probably do one again tomorrow on the 4th before I go to work or when I get off. Who knows? I'm just doing whatever. So you guys have a great rest of your night or morning whenever you listen to this, and just know you've been on a just because rant, and I will holler at you all later.